So let's move forward before I forget something else. Let's move forward to the next question, right? And I actually really love this question. I think everybody on the panel will love this question. So we just observed Martin Luther King Day. Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr. and his family. But why should we still care about the legacy of this historical figure? Does it still matter in today's climate and times? Does it matter? Some people said it doesn't, especially the younger generation I've talked to. They said it really doesn't matter as much. But let's go to AB first. AB, what do you think about MLK Day, his legacy, and does it matter still today?
100% matters. 100%. For the easy, the short answer is yes, it matters. But the reason why it matters the most is like there's a famous quote, and I'm pretty sure you guys know the quotes as well, where it says, "Hard times create strong men, strong times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times," and the cycle cycles. So it cycles. So in America is one of going back to what I said, it's one of the most polarizing where there's so much history. And the reason why America is because of its history and how much of a melting pot it is and what it's gone through. And one of the biggest things, people don't understand this, but one of the biggest exporters, one of the biggest exporting goods that America exports, you'd be surprised, is actually culture. And particularly
Yes.
black culture.
Yes.
Okay? So
Emphatically.
black culture is one of the most lucrative, one of the most contagious, and one of the most infectious things that they export, where a child all the way in who knows what country will be listening to Tupac or Biggie or whatever, or they'll know the biopic of Malcolm X or whatever it is. Now, if you are going to export black culture, it's also going to come with black history and black scars and whether it's the good or the bad, whether it's Huey Newton or the Black Panthers or whatever revolutionary, it comes with the music, it comes with the movies, it comes with the books, it comes with the media. So people have to understand. Now, people only want to celebrate, but they never want to understand the pain and the griefs that come along with these things. So it's very sad, like you said, because the young generation don't understand it because they're so far removed. And the funny thing is, it hasn't even been that long, but to them, it feels like years and years and years and eons ago. You know what I'm saying? So to them, they don't understand the struggle. They don't understand segregation. They don't understand the Rodney King riots. They don't understand when Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali. They don't understand when you were the different schools for colored people and for white people. They don't understand where when you go to drink water at a fountain, there's a fountain for whites and non-whites. They don't get it. They don't get it. So because to them, they've been born into a society where race is mixing, cultures mixing, and that's normal to them. So they can't fathom. So to their to their ignorance, it's kind of not their fault because you can't understand what you don't fathom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, like you said earlier, it's your past that shapes your future. So you need to look back and study these things and see where it comes from and see the trailblazers and the pioneers that made you have these rights and these things in order to feel this way, to feel this comfort and not feel weird. But nowadays, like racism now is subtle. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you are, it's subtle. So it's not so more overt, now it's covert. So you have to find out who you're with and where you roll and all these things. But if you are still an 80s baby or a 90s baby, you can still see the products of these generational racist practices still being practiced till this day. So it's not like we're far removed. Like MLK just maybe gave us a couple of good years, and which the people needed. Don't forget, the people needed, and a lot of people's livelihoods was based on these movements, these civil movements. So that's my thought process, man.
But AB, I'm reflecting what you said, and I'm thinking about, in particular, the younger generation, right? And I feel like part of the reason why some of them are not necessarily caring about MLK and the civil rights, his impact on civil rights, because a lot of them are reaping the benefits of the work that he put down.
Bingo. That's it.
So we can look back to Loving versus Virginia. This is the landmark case that allowed interracial marriages. Before the Loving versus Virginia case, you couldn't even marry someone that was white without approval unless that state allowed you to do that. But just imagine now, with so many people, they're marrying people outside of their ethnicity or their color, things like that. Now you're able to do that because of the Loving versus Virginia case, because of the work that Martin Luther King and so many others in that civil rights movement put in, right?
Fact.
And when I look at the commercials all around the US and UK, it's all like more brown effect. You know, you have a white wife, a black husband, white wife, however you want to put it. You see, Asian mom with a black father. It's all different, like integrationists. And so the kids today see like, well, why do I need to care about that? There's no racism. This person's marrying this person. We're all living in harmony. And they don't understand that there's subtleties, as you said, to the game of racism that they may not experience until it happens to you, or until you discover it. At a particular moment in your journey, you discover it. I was lucky to be involved in this presentation when I was in college or university. Shout out to my alma mater, West Virginia University. West Virginia, shout out to y'all, home of the Mountaineers. When I was there in this lecture, it was, I forgot the man's name because he was such an icon. I think his name was Fred Shuttlesworth. And I believe he was a reverend that was walking and going through the movement of civil rights with Dr. Martin Luther King. He knew him very well. And I remember being the precocious 21-year-old, naive to some things because he lived it. I just read it. He lived it. And I said to, Mr. Shuttlesworth, what do you believe was the worst thing that Black people could have done, right? What should we have done in our past? He said the best thing that we did was fight, and we developed our own communities and our own businesses. But the worst thing we did was integrate. We lost everything.
Facts.
We lost everything. We lost our identity. We lost the momentum. We lost our culture. We lost those things because we gave it up for the exchange of being into the mainstream community. And so what I'm saying is that these kids are benefiting from that work because we wanted to integrate. But in that sense, we did lose a lot of the things that came along with that. So it became watered down to a point now where they're like, well, I'm in a new time and era. That's old news. Not even paying homage. It's like you said, to the people who laid down and paved that way. So that's the thing that's kind of distressing. I have nothing wrong with integration, nothing wrong with people marrying who they want to marry, love who they want to love. This is just one aspect of them, and this is what they're saying, that I can marry who I want, talk to who I want, be around who I want. My friends are all multicultural, and we're all lobbying for diversity, equity, and inclusion today, right? Yep. All of us are doing that, but we lost sight of the people who had to lose their life just so you can go do what you need to do and have the freedoms necessary to live your life the way. That's the only problem I have. Just pay homage, pay respect, understand that it happened, and understand why you're here because of the history that was happening before you. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody, but that's kind of the way I saw this question when I looked at it. And Eamon, what do you think? Eamon B, what do you think about this? Do you have any connection to MLK? Because I know I'm the only American here, but we all felt the reverberations of that. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man. I'll be honest. So I grew up in the UAE, right, which is right here, neighboring country in the Middle East, right? So MLK Day to me, the way I found out about it, this is honest truth, is through the NBA.
Take it real. Really?
NBA,
really?
Always have MLK Day games, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Warm-ups and stuff like that. But listening to you guys speak right now, and something that really resonated with me was the U.S. being the biggest exporter of culture. even though I grew up all the way out here, and I'm from Sudan, I was born in the UK, so I have no affiliation to the US really, other than the culture, which was
Facts.
which
Mm.
was which was portrayed to me through music, TV, movies, etc., etc., etc. Like I used to wear big baggy jerseys when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to
Yeah.
wear the double XL t-shirts. I used to wear the FUBU like tracksuits, the trainers,
Yes.
Air Force Ones, all of that. Where did I get all of that? I got it from the culture, which was
Mm.
exported by the US. So so when you say is MLK Day still important and is it still something that's worth celebrating? I think more than celebration, it's awareness, right? It's
Facts.
creating the awareness for everyone all across the world who has received a part of this culture in some way, shape, or form and
Mm.
adapted it into their lives. I didn't. Where else would I know what hip hop and R&B and black comedy and like stand all these stand up comedians and all of that? Where else do I get that? If it wasn't for things like MLK and like those kinds of movements that happened way back when, I would have never gotten it, right?
Mm.
That's true.
I have a question for you guys, especially Aim and B. Did your school celebrate it or talk about Black History? And if they did, what did Black History look like?
Nope. We, that was my own. That was my because I was so like or to me I was very in tune with the culture. I learned all of
Mm-hmm.
these things myself through different forms of content, right? Whether it's a movie, whether it's an interview, whether it's a nighttime talk show, whatever they call it, like a nightly show, a Dave
Yep.
Chappelle show, a
True. Dave Chappelle show.
what other,
Wow.
what other series, loads of them, man, loads of them, so many of them. But yeah, and obviously my dad being a very like avid music listener, um, movie consumer, whatever. Like he knows all about all of those popular black actors and actresses that were from back in the day, and like all the Malcolm X stories and all of that stuff. So that was kind of it was just part of my upbringing, but I
Mm.
really didn't have a genuine connection to that culture. But
Mm.
that's more of a reason for me to appreciate something like an MLK Day and like continue to pass it forward to to future generations in the young world, like you guys say.
Yeah. Because I always find it like, do people feel like they're Black like I feel like I'm Black? So it was funny because I was in Qatar and I never forget this moment. And in my job, I do a lot of school tours. And there was this guy, he was a Black Qatari. And he looked just like one of my like uncles in the US.
Mm.
But he had the egal and everything else on. And I just like I really wanted to say, "What's up, man? Like, what's going on?" But the way I express my Blackness is different from the way that his culture is. He could be very much Qatari and be Black facing, but he's Qatari amongst anything else,
Yeah, I mean, but
right?
this is the thing.
So
Not to cut you off, but
yeah,
this is the thing. So
yeah,
black, even black as black, is there's levels to it, right? So
mm,
your understanding of black is African American.
yep,
My understanding of black is African, like actually African.
mm-hmm,
They're like this gentleman you just mentioned, his understanding of black may have been like immigrants of Africa that came to the Middle East. So like it's
right,
heritage based. Um,
mm,
it's different perspectives. But at the end of the day, black is black.
Black is black indeed.
yeah, that's indeed. I don't want to even ruin that moment. That was nice to say that at the end, right? Because we're all part of diaspora, so that's amazing. So that's cool. Heavy topic, but it was definitely needed to talk about. So,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
That's important, man. Awareness.
it is. I like how you said that too, awareness, because sometimes we need to be re-educated.
Yeah.
We need to be
Yeah.
put back into a place of acknowledgement. Like, oh, I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah. So that's cool. We're making good time, guys. I know we have.